Episode 107, my friend. Whoa. Was that excited enough?
That was wonderful.
Was that good? Okay.
I liked it.
We'll check that out the box. Episode 107.
107.
Here we are, my friend. How you been?
I'm good. It's been a good week. We my poor mother is planned for, it's minor, but she's getting her back surgery in the middle of June. So we're looking forward to that and getting that over with. How's your dad feeling?
Pops is amazing. He's like RoboCop.
Nice.
I don't know. Any of you guys haven't seen RoboCop from like the 80s? Peter Weller plays this police officer in Detroit that gets like, I don't know, an inch from death. And he comes back and he's like, he's this part robot, part human. And so that's Dad. He's just, I mean, like the day we got him home, the next day he was out on the back porch. They have like this screened-in porch thing. And he's out there running the vacuum cleaner. And he's got like a bag on his left side, right? He's got to drain the fluid.
Right.
Okay, yeah. And so, you know, he's working through all of that, and I just talked to him this morning. And
nice.
He's really doing well. He's coming along. He's finally back on solid foods now. So I think he's going to give himself a few more weeks, and then I'm sure my mother is going to have some type of a family dinner with her marvelous cooking. I don't know what she's going to make, but I have a feeling that dinner is coming soon, and I better get an invitation, okay?
Right. Oh, I bet she's a good cook. So 100 episodes ago, we do our 100th anniversary. So episode 7 was our dear friend Paige. I think.
Oh, Paige.
Isn't
she's
she
adorable?
She's our youngest or our second youngest guest that we've had. And so we have had the pleasure of watching her graduate high school, go to esthetician school. Wow. Moving on up in the world with a nice new young man, a very handsome man that she's dating.
First of all, here's what I want to say about Paige. I want everyone right now, all of you guys in the live chat, I want you don't have to type this. You don't have to type anything. I just want all of you to say 5 times fast. Esthetician. It's not that easy to say. Esthetician is a very difficult word. And that's just me saying it. Now you have this young lady, Paige, who I've had the pleasure of meeting, and she is an incredible girl. And here she is becoming an esthetician. And Stacy, did I hear you say something about her? What has she done with her estheticianness?
We just posted in Myersdale, PA. She started her own business. Are you in need of skincare? And it is Bare Beauty by Paige, and she is there on Center Street in Myersdale. And we've watched her go from high school to opening her own business. I'm so proud of her. She's amazing.
I know, a kid to an adult. It's amazing.
Yeah. So congratulations to her, and everyone go back and watch episode 7.
She's got to pay taxes now. That's got to be tough.
Right. Business taxes. Yeah.
Remember when you first had, they get like a paper route or like, grass, they give you like $7 in like pennies and nickels, right? You don't have to turn any of that in. But open up your own business, get an accountant, pal.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know where you are in Myersdale or near Myersdale from Pottstown.
She's Western. She's out by Pittsburgh.
Is she?
She's out on the other side of State College. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good, because I'm going to say if I ever travel back home going the Western Pennsylvania route, I will stop in for a facial. I think I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, she's. I'm just so proud of her. So proud of her.
Good girl. So, Stallone in 2007, again, episode 107. What was Stallone up to in 2007? What was he filming?
Oh, Stacy, listen, I got to tell you, the reason I know this is because 6 months previously, I was at his birthday dinner at the Victor Cafe. So, Rambo 4.
Yes.
Rambo 4, I mean, there you go. Here's the poster for the movie. Rambo 4 is probably my second. Oh, look at that. Live for something or die for nothing. Rambo 4 is probably my second favorite Rambo. No, all right. I'll have to say third. It's First Blood. Always First Blood is going to come first. Yep. Then it's going to go Rambo 2. Rambo 2, over the top action. Say anybody can say whatever they want about it. The entire Vietnamese and Russian army misses every bullet, but on a boulder, Rambo pulls back the bow and blows up the Vietnamese commander.
Right.
Listen, I don't care. First Blood, Rambo 2, Rambo 4 was brilliant.
Dynamite. Yeah.
That's all I'll say about that.
Awesome. It's funny with Rambo. I'm kind of like you. I like the bookends. I love Rambo 1 and I love Last Blood.
Yeah. Oh, just a quick mention on Last Blood. I see what the fans say about it, but I want to say this. My brother, Jay, if you're watching, you'll probably remember this. We all went to the opening night of Rambo 5. We all went. We went I drove into Scranton. We all went to see it. I took my mother-in-law with me, and we're watching Rambo 5. And my brother says, Mike, when did Rambo 5 come in? Guys, I'm going to get this wrong. I think it was just before COVID.
Okay.
More like 2018 or 2019. I apologize. I feel a little humiliated right now. A little humbleness is coming over me. But my brother said to me, he leans over, right? And he goes, Mike, can you believe it's 2019 or whatever year it was? He goes, and we have another Rambo.
I know.
He goes, can you believe this? And I thought about that. And I go, that's actually a profound statement, Jay. I go, that's incredible. I go, yes. I mean, to be the age that we are now, 1982.
Right.
First Blood comes out. It's amazing. Right. I mean, I could scream about the Rambos all day long and my love for them. So anyways.
All right. What do we got next? Hang on. Mr. Shawn McFadden.
How is Shawn? What's he doing?
Well, Shawn is kicking ass is what he's doing. Yes. Here he is. Congratulations.
Look at him, man.
Man, he stepped into the ring and he won. And there he is with Miss Olivia Ford, who's his student, and she was in his corner for his fight. And I just love these two. They are adorable.
Stacey, let's look at this. Let's talk facts here. Let's talk apples and oranges and bananas. Okay, I don't know what that means, but first of all, Shawn has been boxing for quite some time.
Yeah,
look at him, very handsome individual, right?
Yeah,
nothing ugly about this guy. And I don't know if you noticed, but you cannot go to Walmart and buy the belt, but he's a champion.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not exactly sure what weight class he's at right now, but if I'm guessing, I'm thinking maybe cruiser, maybe light heavyweight. I'm not quite sure what Shawn's weight is, but I'm telling you, Shawn, that belt looks awful good around your waist. Now, the second thing look at that. Cerberus boxing. Now, if I remember correctly, Cerberus, right? That's the three-headed dog that guarded the gates of hell, I think.
Yep, there's the picture right there.
Right. Yeah, exactly right. Or in Harry Potter, Fluffy, if you remember Hagrid's pet that guarded the one, I don't know, stone or whatever it was. Anyways, go back to, let's take a look at Olivia. All right.
Yeah.
Now she is a boxer, okay?
Yes.
How does she stay so cute? That may be a very chauvinistic statement, but she's so cute and she's a boxer. How does she do it? Because she doesn't get hit because she's good. She knows how to duck. She knows how to punch. I mean, the kid is, she's lightning in a jar. She is.
Yeah, she is. That's a good way to put it. And Shawn has said it a million times, and I'll say it to Olivia. This kid is, the only thing is she's not 18 yet. So she could progress more from a talent standpoint, but she has to be 18 to get onto some of the, those bigger, more official fights. So we're just waiting for her 18th birthday. She's going to kick butt. She's going to the Olympics. I'm telling you, she's going.
I believe it.
Amazing.
I believe it.
Okay. Miss Talia Shire sighting. Oh my goodness. This was so exciting. Yep.
Talia.
Yep. Here are a couple photos of her over at Cannes. And her brother, of course, Francis Ford Coppola, is made Megalopolis, which I watched the trailer. I can't play the trailer because it'll get us kicked off, but I want to encourage everybody to go watch this. It's really a brand teaser, and it makes you go, okay, what's real in the world? It makes you wonder what the powers that be are. The trailer a fantastic trailer. That's all I say. It makes you want to watch it.
Not that the movie is like Inception, but did it have that Inception feel to it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
yes.
okay. Interesting. I'll check it out. And Adam Driver, I think, is in it, right?
Yep. So these are the major folks.
Shia LaBeouf. Oh, my God. And Jason Schwartzman, that's her son on the far right.
Yep.
Look at Talia. Let's just look at her for a minute, Stacy.
Sure.
She does not look to me like she had any work done. She just looks like she's just aging gracefully.
Right. Well, imagine that. I love that. I love that she's not doing that. And it's okay that she's 77. You know what I mean? It's okay to be a woman who's aging. And I still think she looks beautiful. So I love her to pieces anyway. But I was so happy to see her, and she got posted like crazy. So I just wanted to mention that. Oh my
God. I got so many tags, and people sent me their videos running up to her, taking a picture with, and I'm like, wow, Talia Shire does not go out often.
Right.
It is rare that we get a Talia sighting.
Yeah. And that was special. And of course, when it's available, we're absolutely seeing that, reviewing that, and talking about that. So, and then of course, the biggest part of our day, we are recording on a Tuesday, and this Tuesday just happens to be Mr. T's birthday. And so we just wanted to wish him a very, very happy birthday.
Man, I got to tell you, Stacy, I pity the fool who does not wish T a happy birthday. I mean, this guy is great. And look at that. He's still so badass. Look at everybody. Look at the guy in that picture. He's holding his phone up the proper way, how we all would, and he wants to be in the shot with T in the background. Look at this is the back of Mr. T and his mohawk. This is me. I love this.
That's true. Oh, I see it. Yes, I see what you're saying. But I just love it. He's my favorite film. I mean, I love Rocky 3. So
I love Rocky 3 too. And there's just something. I remember. I'll look at that picture. I think that's Frank just over T's shoulder. There's just something, and that might even be Don Johnson in between the two of them. I'm almost positive that
could be.
Maybe because that's Rambo 3 timeline right there. So, but at any rate, I remember when Mr. T came out for Dancing with the Stars. I hit my camera here. When Mr. T came out for Dancing with the Stars, I remember being choked up over it. Yeah, he's older and he's a little stiff and it's a little harder to move, but he put himself out there and he was dancing to Eye of the Tiger and he was doing it. I loved it. I did not feel a cringe factor. I just felt love for this guy. And I'm like, here's Clubber Lang. The greatest role he ever had was Clubber Lang. That was so profound in our world. I mean, in the Brad Pitt world, in the Star Wars world, in the DC universe or whatever. It doesn't matter. But here to us, Clubber Lang is like, we love Mr. T so much.
I love him.
And when he was doing the commercials for Rent-A-Center or like not Dr. Scholl's, wasn't Dr. Scholl's, it was another shoe. What was
I'll find it. I'll put in a picture here. I'll find it and put it in. Yeah.
And when he was, I'm just like, good for you, T. Good for you. Do what you got to do. Stay relevant. Stay out there because someday you're going to come back around and, there's going to be a great story told about you and all the great things that you've done. So anyways, just kudos, Mr. T. Love you. Happy birthday, my friend.
And happy birthday. And he continues to do so much for charity. He's so generous, this gentleman. And I just wanted to give Contenders Clothing a little plug because right over here is my sweatshirt. That's the back. That is a hoodie zip up by Contenders Clothing. And what I love, it's sweatshirt material, but it's a little bit lighter than standard sweatshirt material. It is just right. It's warm without making you sweaty. Love it. So go over to Contenders. They have that.
You know what I like? Here's one little plug also from my end about Contenders. There's something very unique that they have at the end of the sleeves. There's a little hole that they have sewn in
for the thumbs. Yes.
The older I get, I have more problems. The back of my hand, all in through here.
Yeah.
Even right now, I have a real problem. Like part of me is sweating, and the other, like my fingers and my hand, I don't have a circulation thing. This is very cold. So when I stick my thumb through the hole, the sleeve comes right up to about here. It helps keep it warm. So contenders, good job on the sweatshirts.
Good job. That was that was a good detail. I loved that.
I don't know who came up with that, but it was a good detail.
Trish Tedesco, she was our episode 105 guest. She sent in this adorable picture. She was at a Mr. T themed birthday party. Look at this child's hat, and then the other kid over there on the left. I was like, this is from 1984. I just had to show this off. I'm like, of course, Trish was at a Mr. T themed birthday party.
You know what, Stacy? Here's what I want to say about Trish. Trish is maybe, and I'm a very, very good judge. I have met thousands, and I will put myself in an elevated category here. I have met thousands of hardcore Rocky fans.
Of course you have, right?
When it comes to the best of the best of the best, past the hero worship, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Trish, she would be maybe in the top 3, top 4 people, and
the real deal.
She's the one in America, and then I have there's 3, 4, 5 other people I have from around the world in my mind that that I know. I wonder who the ultimate Rocky fan would be. I really do. That would be an interesting contest to run. And how would we run that contest? How do you run the ultimate? I mean.
Well, I mean, I think it's kind of settled, don't you? I mean, you're number 1 and she would be 2.
No. You know, as my podcast work wife, I appreciate that.
True. Come on. Who's going to be? No. Nobody. Literal. No one.
No. That's so sweet. And this is not me being humble. But I do. Everybody is such. There's so many massive Rocky fans out there in their own right. Okay, one has a whole lot of this, but maybe they don't have this. Well, another one has a ton of this, but maybe they don't have that. So I get that, but I wonder, how could we craft a contest? I would not be part of it. I would be one of the judges, as I feel we should think about, Stacy. I know we have a lot to get to, but we should think about a Rocky contest where you and I, and maybe we have to have uneven numbers. We can't have like 4. We take 5, we take 3 people who watch us, right? And we say they are the judges as well. So they can't enter the contest. Okay. And if they're okay with that. So we have 5. So how can we do this?
You know what? Live comments. I want to hear their ideas. So go, who's ever watching.
Yeah, I like that. Live comments.
Yeah.
Because I want to get 3 other judges with us. Then I want us to do a Zoom session, and then I want us to brainstorm. I want us to get a big cup of some type of alcohol and sit here and let's just tip them, okay? And then let's just talk.
Yes.
Record the whole thing. Let's record it, and then let's brainstorm. Let's see where we go with the 5 judges. Are you down for that?
Yes, and Joe Cholo will be part of organizing this group for that.
Joe Cholo.
Yeah, and I think so. What are the questions? The questions are who would the judges be, and what's the criteria for the people entering the contest? That is the conversation.
I got 2 guys in mind. So I got Sean O'Donnell. He's at the top of my list. Sean's big. He's big into Rocky. So Sean will be a good judge, big time good judge. And then I think Danny Watley. Danny Watley would be very, very intense. So I'm going to put those out there. I don't know how you and I picked the 3 judges. I really don't know. But we got to get another girl. I mean, there's a whole lot to get to here. But anyway,
well, it's funny that Trish would be a judge, but I wanted to enter the contest.
Oh my God! I know. Trish, you would be a great judge. There's like 6 or 7 females that I know that that have taken the tour that I really consider that are very close. Kirsty Swain, okay? I mean, so there's a lot of people out there that get this character. So, all right.
We're going to have to develop that for sure.
Will. All right. What's next?
All right. I got a knock at the door.
Oh, my God. Hey, listen, do we want to break up our list and just go to the guest?
Yes, we have him here. He is ready to go. He is back for a second time. Mr. Michael Dells. I'm going to bring him in from Dirty Ugly Wrestling Podcast. Hello, my dear. How are you?
Hey, woman. Hey, woman.
Hey, woman.
After I crucify him, you're next. There's a little Mr. T birthday little celebration and over for...
you don't get no shot, and I mean that.
Hey, boy.
Am I the only one that thinks that Mickey sounds like Popeye in that?
Mickey got a lot of Popeye going on in that back and forth. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
Mickey,
right.
he just seems, hey, what are you doing? I want to fight this guy. Well, you got him, but you got him without me.
Yes, that is true.
You know what my prediction is for this interview? Pain. Hi, guys.
Hello, Mikey D. What's poppin', G? As we say in the 90s.
It is great to see you guys, Mike. I certainly hope your dad is doing much, much better. Yeah. I've been praying for him and praying for you too as well, sir.
You know what? I will take that and I will appreciate that to the max. Dad's doing real good. I kind of talked about him a little bit earlier in the video, or in the recording here, so you'll see that Dad's doing real good. And thanks for throwing me into your prayers, because you know what? Hey, who can't use a little better word with the powers that be? I appreciate it.
Right.
The man upstairs.
So
yes,
there you go. There you go. Stacy, you know what? I was wondering. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I could be misinformed.
I already know.
But I heard a rumor that Mikey D is a wrestling fan, a small, minuscule fan.
Right?
Is this true? What's your thoughts on it, Stacy? Is he a wrestling fan?
Yeah, well, that's the name of his podcast here.
Oh, look at that.
Hey, there's the one. I remember that guest on the podcast. And then there's Sly Scarpone, who follows the Rocky very, very well as well. That's
really?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mike,
he's not as good as you, Mike. He's not as good as you, but he's good.
Stop it. More.
He's good. More. You're better.
Oh, thank you. No, stop.
In the flesh, baby. See, I can break them all out anytime.
I know. I love
it.
Listen,
yes, I am a wrestling fan, and yes, I am a Rocky fan, but I'm a fan of all kinds of things. But go on, Mike. You were saying.
I want to try to catch you off guard. I was telling Sue about this just before you come down. Before we got you out here. So, in a fight between the Ultimate Male, Thunderlips, versus Drago, who wins? And let me see your Hulk Hogan figure. Where is he?
Oh, I've got Hulk Hogan figures all around this mansion here.
I thought for sure you'd have a Hulk Hogan figure
I do.
With you.
Just not in this room, but I do. Although I will tell you, okay, I'll weigh in on this fight: the Ultimate Male versus the Siberian
Express.
Bull.
Yeah,
the
bull. Okay, there you go.
The Siberian. Okay. I gotta give the over to Drago, and the only reason why, because all fake, meatball, all fake, because there's going to be a line where even if Thunderlips, aka Hulk Hogan, was on the juice, whether he was, whether he wasn't,
who cares?
Training,
prayers, eat your vitamins.
390 pounds. I mean, whatever it is, but. I don't believe that he would have done the preparation that Rocky did to take on Drago. So I think Drago takes down Thunderlips in 3 rounds.
I got to tell you,
he's got a Creed in 3.
I did not see that prediction coming, my friend. I got to tell you. Well, I mean, the wrestler, once he grabs the boxer, that's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. I mean, but
no gloves.
The boxer is Drago.
Here we go, baby. Boom! Drops a big leg. I mean, oh my God, Stacy! I wish you could just put the Hulk Hogan Rocky 3 coming down on the big leg right here in the ring.
Now I want to see that. I want to put that together in the that fake Looney Tune fight. I want to put that in there. I want to make that happen.
Don't you think one of the rumors? And I haven't asked Sly this, Mike, but I think you'll appreciate this rumor. There was a rumor shortly after Balboa came out that Sly had written a scene where, when it cuts to HBO after Little Marie kisses Rocky, Then it cuts to the next night of the fight. And we go through the HBO graphics, right?
Yep.
And we don't see Carl Weathers, but we see Drago and we see Mr. T and so Clever Lang and so on. Wouldn't it have been great if we just saw a newspaper, a big newspaper, and giant white fists holding it up. And then the announcers say, do you remember that fight the Stallion had with Thunderlips? And he flips the papers down, and it's a balding Thunderlips, and he's got reading glasses on, and he's obviously older. And he goes, go for it, meatball. Go for it. Wouldn't that have been a great scene? It's just an ending. It's a tying up of loose ends like Spider Rico. All right. The Thunderlips didn't have the impact in Rocky's life that Spider Rico did, but I thought that would have been brilliant. Now I don't know if that's true, and you know me, Mikey. I've got about 1,000 questions I asked Sly, so I have to put them in an order of importance. But that is one I would like to ask. What do you think about that scene?
I think there was a conversation for sure. I mean, there is absolutely a conversation. And if it was just a little shot here and there, I think they could have done it. They probably left it on the cutting room floor because I guess in the transition in the actual movie, that's not a director's cut. It might not have made sense. To me, a wrestling fan and a Rocky fan, that would have been the little loose end that you just talked about. And I would have just marked out for it, and I would have been done. I wouldn't even have needed to watch the fight.
I would have punched 12 holes in my wall. I would have been like, I would have gone crazy. You know how guys go crazy like at the Super Bowl or when their football team loses or whatever? I would have been screaming like a maniac if I saw something like that. Listen, Mikey, you said something that I want to talk about just briefly before we get into WrestleMania. I want to talk about there's a new Rocky DVD set coming out in June. It's Balboa and Rocky 5 coming out in 4K. 2 years ago, it was early January, and I was taking down my Christmas tree. Sue was taking the ornaments down, and I was crying. I was very depressed, which is true. This is not me going for laughs. This is true. And I'm taking down my Christmas decorations, and I'm sniveling, and my phone goes off, and I just let it sit there. And I said, I don't know, it's probably just a Rocky tour or whatever. And about 20 minutes later, I go over to check the phone, and it's Sly. And he sends me about 9 scenes. He had been editing Balboa for what we're going to get in June. And he had been editing it. And he goes, Mike, he goes, here you go. And he's in his office, and he's filming his computer screen. He goes, Mike, you probably know this. He goes, but you probably have already seen this somewhere. He goes, but we're going to put this back in. We're going to put this back in. And then he showed me 3 scenes that I never saw, that are not out there. And I know they're not out there because I know all there is to know about what's out there. And so what's your thoughts on the 4K series, Mikey? I really want to hear your thoughts on this.
I can't wait, because I love to see every side of everything that he was thinking at the time, everything that they were thinking now. Even the recut of Rocky 4. I thought that was completely different, and I enjoyed it for so many different reasons. And I can't wait to see. I love the behind the scenes stuff. I love the alternate takes. I love the different ways things are cut with different angles, different music. And since Balboa is one of, if not now, probably my favorite Rocky movie, I just cannot wait for that. And June just happens to be my birthday.
Really?
No, absolutely. Yeah, it's absolutely right. And so anybody who's listening out there, I'm not trying to solicit anything, but I'm just trying to say it's my birthday. So
what's the date of your birthday?
We need to make this happen.
What's the date of your birthday?
The date of my birthday is June 10th.
June 10th. Yeah. Okay. All right. June 10th. and what are you going to be? What are you, like 28, 29?
Absolutely. 28. See, the odds of making a comeback at 34 are very long.
Very long indeed.
But I'm way past that. So, I'll be 47.
47.
47.
Okay, my friend. All right, 47.
But I cannot wait for that to come out. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Stacy, what are you thinking about this Balboa? Now, Rocky 5 has not been edited. Sly wants to re-edit Rocky 5 badly, but it's not happening now. So what do you think about this new Balboa coming out?
Yeah, I can't wait because we want Sly's, interpretation. We want to see what he wanted. And it's funny because
what did he want?
Yeah. I mean, as I've known you, I've learned, I was like, it was amazing to me how many decisions weren't up to Sly. And now he has a chance to be like, this is how I would have done it. I can't wait to see it.
Right,
yes,
right.
Absolutely. Like first day,
Will you be buying a copy?
Yeah, maybe more than one, just in case one gets broken. Yes.
I know that feeling. Do you know
you might remember from the tour I took with you. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
but I asked you to take me and Kristen to Rocky 5 locations, and you said, you know what, a lot of people don't ever request that because it's such the off-site movie. And I was like, you know what, I want to go to the church, I want to go to the school, I want to see the fence, the angles,
I'm so glad you said that. I literally about 3 weeks ago, there was a problem. There's a lot of construction on the streets. The Rocky 2 house and the Little Marie parking lot where they walked through, they were closed. You couldn't get to them.
Oh man.
Couldn't get to them. So so now that opens up 15 minutes on the tour because of driving and so on. So I explained to the people and I said, listen, would you like to, I don't normally go here, but would you like to see the school where Robert gets beat up, the hole in the fence where it was and all that, where Rocky thinks the atomic hoagie shop was. And I'm new here, Dad. And they were like, Urban Blight, And so they're like, no, let's just go up to the cemetery. And I'm like, so I got to say, no problem. You got it. It's your tour. So fine. You don't want to go. You want to go. And in my mind, I'm thinking, are you out of your freak? Why are you nuts, Rocco?
Right?
Like, you're fighting Drago on Christmas Eve. Like,
stuff in the basement.
Yeah, stuff in the basement. So I'm thinking, why would you not want to see that? Okay, I get Rocky 5 is not the big fan favorite. I understand
the favorite.
that.
Right.
I love Rocky 5, but still, I don't know. What do you think?
Especially with the Philadelphia flair that's in that movie, and then you get the 90s hip hop, thing going in there. It's like, I want to see that stuff. I want to see where the train crosses over when they're going, take me back. Take me back.
Oh my God,
I want to see that. And I did see that. You showed me. We went right past that. You pointed up and said, there it is. And then I loved that part. And I remember that part. So I encourage anybody listening to this. You're taking Mike's tour. I'm going to promote that. And you're going to go see something from Rocky 5 because it needs to be addressed. And yes, I would love to see him cut that one day. I want to see the other cut of it. But I don't have a problem with Rocky 5. I really don't.
I know. And I'm so happy that you said that. All right, Stacy. What do we have? Now, again, Mikey D might be one of the world's greatest. No, my friend. You are one of the greatest wrestling fans that have ever sucked oxygen. Look at that. Look at that, my friend.
Nice.
Stacy,
you see, I don't know if the lighting is going to show it, but there's a crack in there.
That's perfect. There's great.
A crack in that Liberty Bell shape. And this symbol was around me for an entire weekend, and I could not see. I mean, I can't lie about that.
I love that. You know what that reminds me of? You know what that crack reminds me of? Mackley Green. I'm gonna crack Mackley Green like the Liberty Bell. All right. Anyways, Mackley Green. Don't say anything if you guys know who Mackley Green is. Let people in the chat. Let's see how good our fans are. Okay.
Just be a thinker, not a stinker.
That's right. Carry a leather briefcase.
Sports will make you grunt and smell.
Stacy, go ahead. Take us into wrestling with Mike.
Okay, right? So WWE 40, you have sent me the coolest pictures, and I'm just gonna. It was just bigger than life. I mean,
the stage
my goodness.
area that inside the
look
Lincoln,
at this.
That's so with the convention center where they've
that
had
whole
many
side
Rocky
of a building.
stands off.
I saw those every day for a month driving around the city on my tour, and now they are auctioning them off.
I know.
Did you see that, Mikey?
I'm trying to get in on that.
I wish I knew somebody for you that I could snag one. I don't know. I know a lot of people in the city, but I don't know anybody doing the contest. So sorry.
That's okay. It's just the fact. Oh, that was beautiful. That's
Look
a
at
shot that Kristen took of where we were sitting in the front row of the club level, dead center, pretty much. It was
wow,
beautiful thing.
Great
2
view.
nights in Lincoln Financial. First
nights.
night was 50 degrees and very cold, and the second night was 65 degrees and very mild. It was so awesome, and just Philadelphia straight for 3-4 days. Everything WrestleMania, but everything Philadelphia too. It was beautiful.
That's so nice.
So let me ask you. Oh, look at this. I mean, this is amazing.
That's the program. Yeah, we had to get the program. A lot of those people are not performing. Oh, there's my poker table.
Wow.
See,
look at that.
See, now it's addressing my poker table. That's a beautiful thing.
My God.
See, it's everywhere. And there was, I got to bring it from the other room. The Hulkamania. I got one of the foam fingers from 1985.
Come on,
what?
I got to see
You guys
this.
set up the next set. I'm going to go get that because you wanted a Hulk Hogan thing. I'm going to go get that.
Brother, you got it.
Seconds, brother.
I got to see that. Ooh, yes. Never Slim Jim. Hulk Hogan. Macho Man Randy Savage. Stacy, you don't probably know who
so
Macho
good.
Man is.
I'm
look at this. Look at this.
Nice.
American made.
Hulk
Hogan song. All right. So,
there
Mikey, I love this. Now, this is going to take me back. All right. So, when Hulk Hogan first came out, look at that. WWF.
Awesome.
Right.
WWF.
Amen. Titan Sports. This is the real deal. This is preserved from almost 40 years ago. It's in such great condition. It's just fantastic. I love this. This is great.
That's amazing. Now, to me,
good nose picker too. But like that's something.
It sure is. Back scratcher.
My apologies. Right. Back scratching.
So
go ahead, Mike.
Here's what I love about that. When Hulk Hogan used to come out, when he first came out, it was to Eye of the Tiger. Once he started getting big, it was Eye of the Tiger. And then that changed. I don't know if it was a rights thing with MGM. I don't know if there was issues with that in the WWF. But then the Real American Hero. Oh, my God. Oh, God, Stacy, I wish we could play that song right now. I could just hear it. The Real American Hero. Oh, my God. I can hear it going off in my head right now. I know if we play it, they're going to kick us off.
They'll kick it off.
Yeah. Oh, they will.
Here's the story that I can tell you that I've heard about that back, doing independent wrestling, back in the locker rooms. I talk about that because I'm a Hulkamaniac, always have been, always will be. So obviously, Eye of the Tiger was being played before there was a lot of copyright infringement issues going on. And then the WWF at the time hired their own in-house composer. They had a couple of them. So they made one song that it was very ambient. It was a really cool song, but all it did was scream Hulk, Hulk. And it had like this 80s electric vibe with it. And it lasted a little while. It was on the very first wrestling album by WWF. And then the in-house composer, they signed up with Rick Derringer. They actually had a conversation about it. And Real American was actually written to be used by the WWF for the U.S. Express, Mike Rotundo and Barry Windham. Initially, they were using it in live events, house shows, whatever you want to call it. But Hogan said, you know what, brother? That would go real well with what we're trying to do here. And then Vince said, oh, damn it, pal, I agree. And so they just, over to Hulk Hogan. And as soon as he won the WWF championship, that big green belt, they started rolling with Real American, and that just took off from there.
And who sang Real American?
Rick Derringer.
Rick Derringer is who sang that. That is one of my favorite songs. It is on my iPod. I have listened to this song. I gotta say over 40 years. Probably 40 years. I love this song so much. The song on my iPod before it. So Real American comes out. It's on my iPod. The one I have before that is oh God, what's his name? All the guys do. He's a tribute artist. There's a lot of tribute artists. I am myself. I am. Oh, what's his name? Come on.
Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond.
Thank you, Neil Diamond.
Yes.
They're coming to America. They're coming to today. And then I go into the Hulk Hogan song, Real American. Oh, my God. I'm getting chills now. I mean, These are two songs that just break the bank and kick ass. I'm telling you.
And some of those songs are just iconic. And when you hear them, you know where it takes you back to. And that's one of them for me. Obviously, Gonna Fly Now, the Rocky montages, those all are in my brain because I can remember where I saw these movies where I'm living these things, all of them, and even the slower, the softer, all that stuff, and even Take You Back. Like I said, Take You Back. Take Me Back, all that stuff. I love music and wrestling and Rocky. And yeah, I totally feel you, Mike. That is on my top in my shuffle as well.
You know, here's the thing that I love about you. When I hear you talking about wrestling and the details, you sound like me in the Rocky world.
Right.
I mean, I love that. I really, really do. Stacy, what do you got?
You said some cool pictures, some souvenirs that you had with you.
That's a pin that they sent. I was there. It was only sent to the folks who did that priority pass on location package with WWE. And they do all sporting events, so I highly recommend priority pass. We had transportation to and from everything. We had great amenities early in, easy out.
Nice.
Food, beverages. We had superstar appearances. Some of them even had up ring, up close, in person. It's beautiful.
Nice. This is you just sent me this today. This is
very cool. I like that.
That is a mini championship belt inside of the wood there. That is just such a cool thing. As soon as I saw that, I had to have that.
How big is this?
Yeah. Oh, look at
I mean, I'll give you the. It's actually here in my hands.
Oh,
that's
okay.
That's
awesome.
This has got some size to it, some weight to it. And I collect the championship titles, and this was in here, and I said, I don't know how I'm going to get it out of here, out of this venue, back to the hotel. I don't care. I'm getting it home. So it was beautiful. Hey, there's my little... sometimes when I look at that in a different kind of light, I think it's somebody in my room there.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
Got the hat, got the hoodie, which was pretty cool. Got the credentials that we had, the little bag that you carry everything in, so it's very secure, and just some of the things I brought back home from Philadelphia that weekend. Hey, there I am. And I'm wearing my Rocky hoodie. Actually, I had the whole Rocky gear on that, and I had the gray sweatpants. That's the night it was cold, 50 degrees, and I'm wearing the gloves too. You just can't see it because I'm taking a picture with the phone. There's Kristen.
Go back. Hang on a second. We're going to come back to this. Go back one.
Go back one.
All right. Okay, so I would say if I just woke up out of a coma, all right, I would say you are in one of three places: the either WrestleMania, a Springsteen concert, or you're in Philadelphia at a Kevin Hart concert. Okay, I would say that's where you are. I'm telling you, I hope you have this in a frame. This, my friend, is a precious picture. Maybe my favorite so far.
Thank you. Yeah, WrestleMania, definitely. Springsteen, I'm going to see later this year in Baltimore. Should have saw him last year, but he had some issues. And then Kevin Hart is on the list. That's like one of the biggest comedians ever. I love comedies as well. So
that's amazing. Let's see who he was with. Who was he with at this?
This lovely lady right here.
Yeah, that's my best friend in the world, the illustrious Kristen right there.
Beautiful.
We were hanging out in the hotel lobby, and we were waiting for the bus to take us over to the football stadium. And said, you know what, this background is really cool for what the colors that we're wearing. So let's check that out. And also on the bottom of those screen there, they took over the baseball field as well, the Philly stadium.
That's incredible.
We had, with Priority Pass, an entire tailgate party is what they called it. Several hours before the gates even opened at WrestleMania, they let us walk out on the field. They had WrestleMania all over all of the Titantrons and the banners and everything. They had superstar appearances. They had the entire lower concourse open with food, just grab and go. It was wonderful.
That's a field of dreams right there. Field of effing dreams.
If you build it, they will come.
Oh my God.
They will effing come. You
just got to have it in your brain. You got to have it in your brain to say, okay, what is it that people want? What do they want? And they will hand over. What is James Earl Jones? And they'll pay it. They won't even ask why. They'll just pay it and they'll come. And they do. They do. Jesus. All right. Now I gotta ask you. I gotta fast forward and jump on this. One of the coolest things I saw. So I'm a big Rock fan. All right.
Nice.
I love his acting. You guys, mark my words. I think, I don't know in the near future, but I'm going to make a prediction. Someday The Rock may not win, but he will be up for an Oscar nomination. I have watched him in several movies from A to Z in a stretch.
Right.
And he's very, very good. He is really not, he is not your average dingus. I mean, he's very, very good. So my thing was when I saw The Undertaker show up and slam him, pick him up and slam, and The Rock turns around and there you hear the gonging of the bells. Tell me what you were feeling when you hear the gong of the bell. And did you know The Undertaker was going to be there?
I didn't have a clue. No.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
As in tune as I am with this world, nobody in that stadium saw that coming. Nobody watching on Peacock. Oh
my God. That's great.
So here you go. Let me give you the story. So and I sent the video, pictures, whatever. If you want to show it, go for it. I tell you what, that is at the end of the second night. That is Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. There's no rules in the match, so that means anything can happen. So at this point, John Cena has come down. Jimmy and Jey Uso have come down. Solo Sikoa, all these names have come down. And then eventually, what you saw, John Cena did come down. John Cena and The Rock have a lot of history together. At this point, Cody Rhodes is almost dead. He's the good guy. He's the baby face. He's laying in the corner watching all this happen. So at some point you think, okay, John Cena has come out. Seth Rollins has been there all weekend. He's going to come out. The next logical point that everybody went to was Stone Cold Steve Austin, because Stone Cold and The Rock have had recent history and they've had WWE history, and everybody was waiting for the glass to break. That's another iconic theme song. So I'm telling the illustrious Kristen who's with me, keep your camera on the middle of the ring, and then as soon as you hear music, shoot it up to the entranceway, and because that's what's going to happen. And The Rock was there with a belt in his hand, and he was ready to whip Cody. And when you hear that Undertaker gong, there's a hush at the same time, the loudest pop I've ever heard. All the air went out and into that stadium immediately.
Love it.
And then I said to Kristen, because it was dark, once the lights went out, I said, point to the ring. Point to the ring, because I know when the Undertaker does something like this, when the lights go out, he's going to show up in the middle of the ring when the lights come back on. And holy effing S. You know, if I had a clean pair of pants at the beginning of that night, I didn't at the end.
Whoa.
And 72,000 people at the same damn time. And as soon as that happened, and choke slam and The Rock, by the way, The Rock played that off beautifully.
He did.
Of course, there's only a couple of people in the world that knew that was happening, and The Rock was one of them. And he played it off beautifully. And I'm like, you know what? If it was Stone Cold doing that and then he made the run in, I would have think, okay, I don't know who's going to win the match. As soon as Undertaker came in, you are now passing the torch from the old guard to the new guard. Right. You have to get through the old guard. And now the Undertaker has cleared the way of the old guard. And now Cody Rhodes can finish his story. And he did it.
Wow. That was great. Now, were you watching the press conferences before and after?
Yes, sir.
You saw the videos when the little kid asked The Rock that one question, and The Rock was like stumped. He was like, oh my God, I can't believe this kid. That was iconic moments. I mean, it was incredible. I got to tell you, I have not watched wrestling in maybe really all right. So 1985, I go.
Oh, wow.
That's 40 years ago, almost.
Yeah, 85, 86, I was religious. WWF was church for me on a Friday night. 11:30, I come home from the local football game because I had quit football by this time. I only played when I was in 10th grade. And so when I get home from the football game, I'd be sitting there and having some chips and French onion dip, and I'd be 11:30 watching the wrestling. I've been watching it all happening, falling asleep on the couch, watching the whole thing. So maybe from 85 to maybe 90, that was my prime years. Okay. I don't know anything from 90 until today. I know nothing. And back then,
I'm there for you, buddy.
That was the Ultimate Warrior. I mean, oh my
favorite. God.
Is he your favorite?
Yeah, of all
I
time.
gotta tell you, Jim. What Earwig? What's his name?
Hellwig.
Yep. And also, side note, did you see Iron Claw?
Oh, I saw it in the movie theater.
I bet you did.
I just actually finished watching it because it came out on HBO Max or HBO, whatever it is. And I watched it again, and I got even more out of it, man. Zac Efron.
Amazing job.
Recognize who that was. That's when you fall so far. Amazing job. And everybody in that movie, and being a wrestling historian as I am, that was very, very close to based on the true story. That was as close as you can get. But that movie was so well done. I love that movie.
I love that movie, and I'm so glad they got Hoyt. Oh God, who played the father? Hoyt McElhenny.
Yeah. He played Fritz von Erich. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he played the father. And if you guys don't know who Hoyt McElhenny is, he was in what's the axe? Jason Momoa and Stallone. Bullet to the Head.
Oh, Bullet to the Head.
He's the guy Stallone kills in the opening scene in the hotel room.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. That's Sly puts a couple bullets into him. So, but he was in a movie. He was in a TV show, 2 seasons it got, called Lights Out. If you guys get an opportunity, watch Hoyt in this TV show called Lights Out. Excellent show, but a boxer who has brain damage. It's a wonderful, wonderful show. I mean, his ex-rival, this heavyweight champ, comes back to help him out. It's a great thing. A great
brain damage. I don't see any. I don't see any.
I don't see any. Stacy, can you make any sense of what we're talking about?
I'm enjoying the energy of just obvious. We have so many wrestling fans in the bubble, so this is going to be great. I have to say,
you mentioned the Ultimate Warrior. You want to see something? I'm gonna grab some. I got something right here. Hold on. Here we go.
Go get it.
Hold on. Hang on.
Come on. You met him. Look at that.
Oh, do it again.
The gods of the underworld have said that I am here. I am warrior.
I'll bring it. I'm going to bring it back. I'll bring it back. There it is.
Wow.
So I'm trying to get the glare off of that. I'm sorry. Hold on. There. That's it.
That's good. We got it.
There we go. So that is a year before he passed away.
My God. So young he passed.
Such a nice. Just the nicest. I mean, I waited in line 3 hours, just like everybody did to see him.
Yeah,
and
right.
Nicest guy. And he was he asked me where I lived. I said Baltimore, Maryland. He said, "Oh, the Landover at the Cap Center. We had some great times there." And just talking to me like a human being. He took a picture with my phone. He said, "Make sure that picture is good because I don't want you to walk out of here with a bad picture." Shook my hand several times. I'm like, dude, this is just amazing.
Isn't that the best when these guys give 100? They give 110%, 110%, and they know what that's going to mean to you. They know you're going to hold on to that for the next 60 years, and you're going to say, this is one of the top 10 moments of my life.
Amen.
Meeting Ultimate Warrior. I remember watching, what was his first WrestleMania? Was it WrestleMania 2 or 3?
His first WrestleMania was 4 against Hercules in Atlantic City. And then he faced Ravishing Rick Rude at 5 in Atlantic City, and then Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6 in Toronto. So that's all within your wheel frame right there.
Yes, it is. And what WrestleMania does him and Hulk Hogan team up in the ring? Maybe they don't fight, but they become friends in the ring. Like, one of them comes in.
WrestleMania 8 in the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis. Hogan was facing Psycho Sid at the end, and there was interference. And all of a sudden, you hear the Ultimate Warrior's music, and he comes down and he saves Hulk Hogan. And that's where he came back to the WWF for the second or third time.
And then they have their falling out, right?
Yep.
And now I know. I mean, I have to tell you, I haven't watched wrestling in X amount of decades, but I have followed the documentaries of a lot of these guys. Man, are they mad at Hogan?
Yeah.
Man, a lot of these guys, Bret Hart, Warrior, Macho Man, and a couple of other guys. I mean, they got axes to grind with Hogan. And I don't know if Hogan screwed them over. I don't know if Hogan just had the brains and he got in with Vince and he moved the marketing along and he got the millions and they didn't. I don't know. What do you think on that?
I tell you that Hogan being the top guy for so long and having such the creative power, such the money power, that he was the guy that everybody wanted to be and nobody could be while he was in that spot.
Right.
So I can tell you that long after all of that, I know that Hogan made peace with the Warrior. I can tell you that for 100% sure. Hogan made peace with Randy Savage, unfortunately, before he passed away. Hogan and Bret Hart, I don't know.
I know.
Maybe not. But I think professionally at this point, I think Hulk Hogan has pretty much made peace with everybody and anybody he can.
Do you think Bret Hart made some bad decisions, like professionally?
I think absolutely. He could have done things differently. I think it was all in his head at the time. And even though he was a consummate in-ring professional, when it came to the personal side of it, it was a little tough. And then it became even tougher when his brother was ended up being killed at a WWE event. And then because he was out of the WWE by then. And I mean, just the families, but I think Bret did some things the wrong way, but ended up reconciling with pretty much everybody again.
Because Bret's in a lot of docs, man.
Yeah.
I see him in a lot.
He loves to put his opinion out there.
He does. And I understand. I respect that. I do. One of the things I got to tell you, Roddy Piper. I don't know who I hated more back in the day, him or Paul Orndorff.
No.
Mr. Wonderful. Now, and I love what Hogan would say, how Orndorff was difficult to work with. Difficult. He was always a cheap shot guy.
Yeah.
And of course, Orndorff has gone through cancer. I mean, he's a stick figure now. I mean, he's I don't know if he's 140 pounds.
He recently passed away actually last
year. No,
did
he really?
Yeah, Mr. Wonderful.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
But he was very bad off at that point. He was going through a lot of stuff. But
oh my God, he was such a stable. He was a keystone of wrestling. And Rowdy Piper. One of the things so when Carl Weathers died in February, that broke my heart. I know Stacy, of the three of us. Oh. I think the three of us probably shed some tears on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was different. I never get upset when celebrities die. When Rowdy Piper died, I was really, really sad about that. When somebody tells me Rowdy Piper in a conversation, I go right to smashing the coconut off of Snooker's head. One of the greatest scenes ever. Okay?
That one I know.
Oh, do you know that one, Stace?
That one yes, I've seen.
Great scene. The backboard comes down, the whole thing. Piper's Pit, all of it. Roddy Piper, watching his documentary, seeing the image that we all thought, that's Roddy Piper. There's this other side to this man that is everybody. Who wouldn't want to have a guy that's your neighbor? I'd love to have been friends with Rowdy Piper. Are you kidding me? I would have loved to have met him and to just talk to him, not the wrestling Rowdy Piper, just him.
There was a difference. He was 110% a character when the red light was on.
Oh.
But behind the scenes, from what I understand, he could be your best friend or your worst enemy. But if you were good to him, he was good to you. That it was basically reciprocal, very much like that.
It really was. And I got to tell you, when I go back and see these old legends, and that's what these guys are. These guys are legends. I mean, I was 13, 14, 15, 16 years old watching these guys doing the acrobatic feats that they did. God, when people say, I didn't understand for the longest time, wrestling is fake. It's fake in the sense that it's predetermined who's going to win the match, but it is not fake on the beating you take.
Mm-hmm.
Go watch the wrestler.
That's the worst F word in professional wrestling, right there.
Yeah, exactly.
You say that to any professional wrestler or wrestling fan, then you're gonna have an
Who
issue.
hit John Stossel? Big John Studd? Was that who it was?
No, that was Grizzly. No, what the hell was his name?
Big blonde hair in the hallway.
Yeah.
John Stossel gets Stacy. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
It was a backstage interview with a wrestler and an interviewer, and
John Stossel was a high-end guy for like 2020 or something.
Yeah,
he was like an Anderson Cooper type, okay? And it wasn't John Studd. Jesus, who the hell was it?
No, I want to say it was something like Grizzly. His name was Grizzly something. But yeah, it basically it
was a guy who looked like Hulk Hogan with more hair, okay? Right. And he goes, oh, you think it's fake? And he just slaps him, open palm slaps him aside, drops him to the goddamn floor.
Dr. D. David Schultz.
Dr. D. David Schultz.
That's exactly.
Thank you, my friend. That's who it was. Drops him to the floor. Now the journalist loses hearing in his ear.
Yeah.
That's crazy. This is right up there when Hulk Hogan chokes out David Brenner on Letterman.
Yeah.
And unbelievable. Brenner goes down. He bangs his head. Yeah. Unreal. I mean, there are real. Wrestling is as real as it gets. Yes, the determination of who wins, that's a whole storyline. It's a soap opera that's going on. Okay. But the beating these men and women now take in the ring is you have got to take your hat off to them. Go ahead, Mikey.
I sure do. You know what's really interesting about what you just said as well? When you go back to Rocky 3, which I know we were talking about earlier, and Mr. T and Thunder Lips and all that thing, when you talk about that specific scene in that movie, I don't think I ever want to see a cut of Rocky 3 where that scene isn't in the movie, because it is a transitional scene, but the professional wrestlers, especially Hulk Hogan, protected the business so much back in the mid 80s like that, early 80s. And to have him put that in a movie screen and find the balance between a movie, an act, professional wrestling, and boxing, to find that happy medium that Hogan and Stallone must have had, that is amazing, because they don't even poke fun at it. They literally let the Thunder Lips character beat the crap out of the Rocky Balboa character, and then they turn it around and let the Rocky Balboa character beat the crap out of the Thunder Lips character. Yeah. And then at the end, they're just shaking it off and good match. And, and hey, let's get that Polaroid together. I'm like, you know what? It was real, but it was a show. They both figured out in that 10-minute time limit, whatever it is, the happy balance. And I'm like, man, going back and watching that now, and all the controversy, what fake, not, now the fourth wall is completely down. Everybody knows it's a show. It's just how do you present that show? Knowing that back in 1982, when that movie came out, I'm like, Jesus,
Hogan was on his way out.
Gamble.
Hogan was out. Vince McMahon Sr. said, you go do Rocky 3, you're out of here.
He sure did.
But Terry Bollea was out of the game. He was done.
And then immediately when that was over, he went to the AWA.
Right.
Got huge.
Yes.
Got big.
Huge.
And then Vince Jr. said, I got to have this guy back.
Look at what we got here. Come on. We got gold right here. So he brings them back in. Hulkamania is born, takes over. And my God, I know some people could say a lot of negatives, whether it's, they're talking about the steroids and all of that stuff. I don't care.
Right.
I don't
right.
care. It's the same thing with Lawrence Taylor. Now, my dad is probably one of the greatest New York Giants fans for decades, 5-6 decades. And he had to suffer a lot, and he's probably suffering right now from the Giants. But there was a little point in the 80s when they hired a guy called Lawrence Taylor, LT. Now, LT had a cocaine and hooker problem.
Oh, dear.
I don't care what he did off the field. It took 3 offensive linemen to stop him from getting to the quarterback. And even then they couldn't stop Lawrence Taylor. Mm-hmm. Mike Tyson. I don't care what Mike Tyson did. I don't care. Mm-hmm. In the ring, what he did when you're paying for your ticket and you're watching that fight and he's knocking out these bums. they're not bums. They're the fighters that were there.
Of the day, yeah.
The fighters of the day. He knocked them all out. A minute and a half, 2 minutes into the fight. And you're like, you couldn't get up for a popcorn. The fight's over. I don't care what these people do off, because I never felt they should be held up to the scrutiny of idols or who we should emulate. I feel, what do we get from their job?
Yes.
What do we get from their job?
Fair point. Yes, I agree.
It is their job. Now, their job is world-reaching. It goes around the world. You get a person who is a door greeter at Walmart, or who is a sanitation engineer or a police officer. It's only your community. But it's a job, right? We don't care what the door greeter does. Maybe the door greeter goes home and he kicks the dog and beats the kids. I don't know. He's very nice to me at the door at Walmart. That's what I know.
Right.
It's nice. I don't know.
And despite all of that, whatever happens when you're not on the job, it's an interesting parallel, because Lawrence Taylor ended up main eventing WrestleMania 11
in
1995 against Bam Bam Bigelow with the entire NFL on the payroll.
Right.
And Mike Tyson was involved in the main event of WrestleMania 14 in Chicago. Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels having a match, and then he was the outside enforcer, and then he came in and knocked out Shawn Michaels. So despite all that, all of the controversy, they did a job. They did it in their job. They did it in the WWE. They wanted to be in the WWE. They were in the WWE. I mean, I'm telling you, the parallels are amazing from these two worlds.
And Stacy, correct me if I'm wrong, which I'm not. But
You're never wrong, Mike.
Wasn't Mike Tyson in Rocky Balboa?
Yes, he was.
Of course he was. Screaming at Mason Dixon from the sidelines. I mean,
yes, he was.
It was incredible.
I love that little bit. And I love how the announcers actually pointed it out. And then that just little bit made it more really reliable, made it more real to me.
Yeah,
it's like this is less of a boxing movie, and now I'm actually watching it on HBO as a boxing match, which was the whole feel, and I loved it. I loved every second of it.
Stacy, before we wind down and we let Mikey get to dinner with the mayor of Baltimore, listen, before I ask him a couple of last questions, what else do you got for him?
I'm a little less than useless for this conversation. You make me. I've been happy to facilitate this, if nothing else. But now I'm like, man, there's just the history here is so rich, and I apologize, I don't know it, but I know we have a lot of WWE fans who are going to love this episode.
Thank you for allowing me to bring part of that to you, because it is a passion, and thank you guys for bringing the world of Rocky to us, and Mike, with this and your tours. I love it. And I just want to throw in a Rocky thing, because this is a Rocky Files podcast. I was just watching Creed the other day, the first one.
Okay.
And I get more and more respect and appreciation for that movie every time I watch it, because it actually it deals with Creed, and it deals with Adonis, and it deals with that story, but it gives you just as much, if not more, of Rocky's story, and it actually leads from Rocky Balboa all the way up to Creed. You got Adrian's, you got his health, you got his struggle in life, basically going through all of the trials and tribulations of Rocky 1 and 2 all at the same time, while trying to lead Adonis down this new road. And I just find myself appreciating that movie more and more every single time. And then at the end, when they're walking up the steps of the museum very, very slowly for Rocky character, I'm like, wow, this is, I mean, he made it, and he got it up to the top of the steps, and the character huffing and puffing and everything. I'm just like, wow, this is, if it would have ended right there, I would have been totally okay with it. Yeah, I know we've talked about Creed 2, and certainly not talking about Creed 3, but we definitely, for Rocky Balboa's character, I want that to be the logical ending point. I don't want to know if lives or dies, but obviously he survived cancer enough to do what he did, and remission enough, and I love it. And now, and I know Mike has talked about this with me on the tour, and also I've heard it on the Rocky Files show, I want to see the prequels. I want to see Stallone get his hand into the prequels, and I want to see how all these characters developed before Rocky 1 ever came around in 1976.
Yeah.
All right, I want to talk about the prequels in a second. Do you know, Mikey, that and Stacy, I don't know if I ever told you this. I may not. This is something I forgot. It's just he brought it. He said something and hit my brain. Mm-hmm. So the original opening, not the original opening, but the original moment in Creed when we first see Rocky wasn't at the restaurant when Adonis comes to see him. The first time we see Rocky is earlier in the movie when he is at a bookstore in maybe Chestnut, somewhere around Rittenhouse Square, probably a bookstore. Rocky's inside and he's looking at all the books, and we see Rocky's into reading now. He's got his glasses and he's looking at the books, and he goes and he pays. And when he comes out the door, he stumbles and he almost falls down the steps that are there.
Oh.
Did they actually shoot that? Is that a deleted scene?
Great question. I don't know. Now, I know that's part of the original thought process Sly had. That I know. I don't know if it was shot. Rocky stumbles down the 3 or 4 steps that are there, and he says, "What's that all about?" Which was reminiscent of Rocky at the gravesite saying, "I'm really out of breath climbing up that hill, but what's that all about?"
Yeah.
Right. So wouldn't that have been great seeing Rocky stumble down the steps, and then at the end he's walking up the steps of the Rocky steps, right? That would have been great. I'm just saying, who knows this series better? Nobody. Sylvester Stallone should have done it. Creed 3 is a bowel movement, and that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough. I relate to that Rocky Balboa story from beginning to end. There's a piece of it everywhere. And I could take a lot from the other characters, and a lot of the other characters are relatable to everybody else in our lives. It's just a beautiful story that I don't, obviously Creed 2 happened, and, Rocky didn't even go into the ring when Adonis won. And that's where Creed ended as far as the movie lore is concerned, because didn't really come up in Rocky 3, but Creed 3, I'm sorry. But I'm totally okay with it ending at the end of Creed 1. And when I'm watching the dinner scene, when Rocky's sitting there eating by himself, and Adonis comes in the door and he says, "You looking thin, you lost a couple pounds, you better sit down and eat." He still doesn't even care about himself. He's just looking out for Adonis. He's looking out for somebody else. That's what he was doing all the time. He was looking out for Adrian. He was looking out for Paulie. He's looking out for his son.
Little Marie, Bob.
He's looking out for little Marie. I mean, come on now.
It goes on and on. Right.
And now looking out for Adonis, and then that scene just gets me. I can't ever. It's just like, and he throws the little hand up, the fist up. It's kind of a newer generation thing, something that he didn't necessarily wouldn't do, but it's also touching gloves. That's what Rocky knows. Touching gloves at the beginning of a fight, in the beginning of a 15th round, for a sign of respect. It gets me every single damn time. It gets me.
Wow.
I love that.
I appreciate, this is a Rocky Files podcast,
beautiful.
and I appreciate the the wrestling time, but I want to get it into
Stacy, we have the upper echelon of fans on here.
Oh, yes, we do. Without question.
We haven't done this. We haven't done 107 episodes to bring in,
amateur fans.
What is
I'm
Rocky
not a paper
say?
Champion. I'm not.
Right, you ain't no ham and egger.
I'm not a ham and egger.
Right, correct.
And I would. I by the way, I was listening before I came on too. I love the idea of a Rocky contest, and I love the idea of judges, and I would love to be involved in that somehow, because
really, you throw your hand to the ring as a judge.
I would love to do that. I would be the judge, the ring announcer, the referee, whatever you need.
Oh yeah.
And I can't wait for those montages of the contestants doing their thing. I just want to say I'm putting my hat in the ring right now to be involved in that any way you would like me to be.
Okay.
You are in consideration, my friend. We got to get 5 judges.
I appreciate that.
Maybe we'll do 9 judges. I don't know what the hell we're going to do. I'm really excited. Stacy, you're serious, right? We're going to do
the Supreme Court of.
Yes, exactly. Stacy.
Ding, ding.
Ding,
right?
ding. I love that. Stacy, before we let Mikey get out of here, last words for him.
Thank you so much for your energy. You were a ton of fun. You make me want to learn all of WrestleMania history now. And I just know that this is going to be a great, great episode for all our wrestling fans. And I actually have a little twist on our very last question. Mike, I'm kind of curious if you were thinking the same thing, but go ahead with all
right. If I'm not thinking what you're thinking, you jump in and say it.
Okay.
Okay. Number one, I don't know if I asked you this on our last podcast together, but if you go back and you were to say to a 20-year-old Mikey D self, what would you tell him?
That's a good one. I would tell that one to live life to the fullest. Don't be so worried. Don't be so concerned about the little things. Don't sweat the small stuff. And I would also want to go back and kind of tell them, hey, man, you're doing a lot of things right. I would give the positive motivation. There's some things that, you obviously could do better, but there's some things you're doing right. And I would definitely give a little bit of the Balboa speech. It ain't about how hard you hit.
Yeah.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep it moving forward, how much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Go out and get what you're worth. I would actually use a lot of that speech to my younger self.
I love
that.
My second question. You and the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, boy.
Are in a cigar bar. You're in a whiskey bar. And you have 15 minutes with them.
15 minutes.
You got 15 minutes, not 30 seconds in an elevator. You got 15 minutes with him alone. No one is with you. What do you ask? What's your question that you ask him?
First, I offer to buy him a drink, and then he tells me, no, I'm buying the drinks. Pretty much that's his character. But I would just say, you know what? I got this time. I want you to tell me who Jim Hellwig is. I want to know. I know all about the Ultimate Warrior. I want to know who Jim Hellwig is. I want to know, as much as you can tell me in 15 minutes about growing up, about watching the business, about getting into the business. I've seen all the documentaries. I just want to know who Jim Hellwig is then, and I want to know who Jim Hellwig is right now. And I know he would give me out of character everything like he did when I met him. Yeah. But then at the end, he would go into promo mode for just a couple of seconds, and he would be like, and never underestimate the power of the Ultimate Warrior.
Shaking the ropes. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
Stacy, what were you going to ask him on that?
I was going to flip the 30-second elevator question over to Hulk Hogan.
I was going to say Hulk Hogan. I was going to, but you said that Warrior was your favorite. So I thought, so Hogan was my next. He was the guy I was going to go with. Cool. So, hey, listen, you're in an elevator with Hulk Hogan. What do you say to him?
I probably, if it's the 30-second elevator thing, I probably would say, hello. I'd start to say, hello, nice to meet you. I'd reach out to shake his hand, and I'm sure he would go into promo mode on me. Let me tell you something, brother. We're in this elevator for 30 seconds. It's not very long, but I want to tell you to train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and what you gonna do when Hulkamania and this elevator ride runs wild on you.
We got to end on that. Mikey D, love you, brother. Love you.
I love you guys. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Stacy.
Great job.
I appreciate you guys. And in 20 or 30 episodes, I know I'm going to be asking again. I would love to come back for the third round because who won the third fight?
Brother.
Who won the third fight?
He did.
He did. I was waiting for that. Exactly. And you know what? And I appreciate you. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Rocky Files, Dirty Ugly Wrestling Podcast, WrestleMania 40 Philadelphia. This has been the highlight of my week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My last statement, I just remembered I wanted to say this. In the comments, if anyone has been paying attention, to Mikey D's background. I am not going to say what I want to say. If anyone has been paying attention to Mikey D's background, tell me why he loves Scranton. Okay.
Ooh,
and that's all I'm
one.
saying. I'm not saying that's it, because Mikey D and I got the same thing in our house in a frame. That's all I'm saying. Listen, we're out of here. Mikey D, keep punching, buddy.
Keep punching.
Boom.
Bye. So much fun. Oh my God. I wish I knew more so I could have been a bigger part of it, but I don't. I'm ashamed of myself.
Stacy, here's the thing. Boy, I gotta tell you, he brings up an awful lot of my youth. He really, really does. I was not kidding. I would go to the football games with my good buddy Joe Ayuk, and I would come home. We all had our curfews, whatever, but I would always stop at like the 7-Eleven and get a bag of chips and get a French onion dip, and then I would watch, have the chips and dip and watch the wrestling. And it was such, when I look back on my 11th and 12th grade years in high school, wrestling is, Rocky's always up there, but wrestling is also up there really high, because that was, for me, that was the heyday. And to see an encyclopedic genius like Mikey D.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Total genius on that. I really want to thank him for bringing him on. And you see, this is why I couldn't do this a couple of weeks ago when Dad was doing his surgery. I didn't have the energy, because Mike deserves the energy he puts out. He deserves that energy back. And I knew you didn't have that knowledge of the wrestling. So I said, and I'm glad we waited a few weeks, because Mike is one of those humans who is beautiful and intelligent and really, really good for the podcast.
Passionate. Oh, the passion.
Gotta love the passion.
Fabulous. Yeah, he was great. Thank you, Mikey. A lot of fun.
Anyway, what else we got left to talk about?
We just did not want to forget Jen and Sly's anniversary. They had an anniversary. They've been together for nearly 3 decades. And I just, there's many seasons of a marriage, and there's ups and downs. And there are sometimes you're close, sometimes you're distant, and they have weathered many, many things together. And they are an example of what we don't see a lot anymore. And I'm proud of them for whatever their struggles have been, because there's no marriage that's spared, but I'm just proud of them for working on it and sticking together, and just a very happy anniversary to them.
You could say they keep punching.
They keep punching. Go figure. So, Michael, where can people find you, my friend?
People can find me at the Yo Philly Film Tour on Instagram. They can find me at the Yo Philly Film Tour on TikTok, where they are just horrible bastards on there. God, they hate my guts on TikTok. And also, 2 quick things. I wrote a little book called there it is. Cue the Rocky music. There it is. Look at that cover. Isn't that a beautiful cover? My niece Lauren did that cover, and there you go. This is just brilliant. We worked on this forever, so you can buy that wherever books are sold. And my brilliant buddy, Jimmy Toscano, came up with this little idea called The Pretender. Following me around for 5 years, you get to know my family, you get to know Sue, you get to know everybody, what makes me tick. And there it is. The dream is real, people. Check it out. Stacy, where are you at?
I'm on Instagram at HadMeAtYo, as well as The Rocky Files, and on Facebook at The Rocky Files Podcast.
Until I see you next week, Stacy, keep
punching.